Hi, my name is Quanaja, and welcome to my 5-minute book corner where I talk to you about books or series that I recently read for 5 minutes. This series is called Between You, Me, and God by Taylor Rose. I think that's what her name is. Hold on. Yeah, Taylor Rose. Female main character name is Celeste. Male main character name is Cassian. Cassian is a priest at a Catholic church. Celeste is one of the goers. I don't know what they call it, baby. I'm not Catholic, okay? Celeste's mama has dementia and she is taking care of the mama. Now Celeste's mama and her sister have all been going to this church for a very long time. And Celeste's mama was a part of church. She played the organ. And Cassian became a priest not too long ago. However, he's a wealthy man outside of priestdom, okay? His daddy had money and gave him all the money, basically. I guess he the only child. So anyways, long story short, Cassian, okay, Father Cass, has been having a thing for Celeste ever since he saw her. Well, he started having some sinful thoughts, and the only way for him to stop having these sinful thoughts, or so he thought, was to whip himself. Now that's the irony of white people whipping themselves for religious purposes, but that's neither here nor there. He thought whipping it away would cause the sins to melt away, and that's not how that fucking worked, okay? So Celeste's mama, right, walks out the damn house. Meanwhile, she in the bed, knocked the fuck out, having the best rest of her fucking life. Celeste's mama walks out the house, drives to the church, mind you, drives into the damn, what he said, in the sign, drives into the sign, basically, gets out the car, has the key, spare key. She remembers how to get to the church, that she has a spare key, gets into the church and starts playing the organ, right? Meanwhile, he's in his room, whipping himself, and also jerking off with the thought of Celeste, okay? Meanwhile, they have damn Jesus painted on the damn ceiling. So Jesus watching you jerk off and whip yourself? What the fuck? Anyways, long story short, one of the nuns came knocking on the door like, hey, by the way, Celeste's mama's here and she's asking for you. She says she has something to tell you. God has something to tell you, right? So he's like, I'm gonna go to the shower and I'll be there for in a minute, right? Boom. He goes, blood and cum is mixed together on the floor, by the way. He steps over there, get in the shower, and steps back over there and leaves the room. Listen, whatever. He goes to Celeste's mama and he's talking to her, and she tells him what God has to say to him. I forgot what he said. I forgot what the mama said God had to say to him. Sorry. Okay, go read the book. Hello. So anyways, he's like, okay, wow. He decides that, and remember how I told you that outside of priestdom he's a wealthy man? Well, he's been donating most of the money that he inherited to the church because he hated his father and he hated everything that his father stood for, so that he thought that the money was like blood money or whatever. So he used that money to get back to the church and the community, right? And so he decided to pay for the mom to be taken care of, basically, because obviously Celeste couldn't do it. I don't even know what Celeste did for work. I forgot what she said, to be quite honest. It wasn't important, right? Boom. So Celeste still at home, knocked the fuck out, right? So he and the other nuns help Celeste's mama to the medical ward, I guess they had, because again, bitch ran her car into the sign, so she had minor wounds or whatever, and she enjoyed being in church, right? So he goes to her house, to Celeste's house. He doesn't tell the nuns that he's going to Celeste's house because one of the nuns already feel like he's doing something or being inappropriate with Celeste, right? And she don't like Celeste for whatever reason. And that's neither here nor there. So he goes to Celeste's house. The door is wide open. Okay, Celeste's still in the bed, knocked the fuck out. So he comes in the house. He's knocking. She doesn't hear her. So he comes in the house, closes the door, goes to her bedroom door, and he's knocking on the door. And she wakes up disoriented, like, who's knocking on my door, right? But you not immediately getting up thinking, okay, my mama got dementia, so it could be her or somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, get the fuck up, hurry up, right? So she gets up and she realizes it's Father Cass, right? So she's like, oh my God, like, what's going on? Like, why you in my house? And he tells her, yo, like, your mama got in the car, you know, had keys, got into the church, and she played the organ and she sung and played 3 songs, okay? And she told me something that guy had to tell me, yada, yada, yada. So they start talking, making out. He ends up eating her puss, sucking on her titties, okay? They having a time, right? Just when they was about to start doing a do, there was a knock at the door, right? So her and Cass is looking at each other, and he's like, I'm gonna just keep going. And she's like, no, they keep knocking, you know, you don't know who it could be. It could be the cops or whatever, right? So he's like, if it's the nuns, act like I was never here, right? So instead of leaving, he goes like into the back room or something, right? So she opens the door, it's the nuns, right? And they're like, hey, have you seen the one nun that does not like her was like, have you seen Father Cass? And she's like, why the fuck would I see Father Cass? I'm just waking up to y'all knocking on my door. And it was like, oh, well, his car was not too far away from here, and it, you know, and she was like, okay, so his car was not, she says, I think his car was not too far away from here. So she's like, do you think, or you know, because you over here asking me about a nigga, and it's late at night, bitch, I just woke up, hello. Meanwhile, okay, so one of the other nuns was like, okay, we're not even here for that. Your mama was found, okay, in the church singing and playing, okay, on the organ, and you know, we have her somewhere. Father Cass is paying for everything, yada yada yada, right? And she's like, no, he don't gotta pay for it, just let me know how much I gotta pay for it, right? Basically putting her in an old people home. And they was like, you know, he said you was gonna say that, but we have to refuse, like, we don't want your money, she's part of our family, we're not doing that, right? Boom. The next time they see each other is in the confessional. So he all night he's been thinking about this girl, right? And he has confessionals to do. So he gets in the confessional and he's talking to people. Mind you, the whole church is funded by the mob, to be quite honest. The mob funds this church, which is telling, but that's neither here nor there, right? Boom. So they're in the church and he tells a story about how another priest who used to work there like a long time ago had put a hole into the confessional like screen that's in the box. I don't know, I'm not Catholic. Anyways, puts it in the box, put the hole in the box, and he would make people suck his dick, like make the women and all the other nuns and stuff suck his dick, and they would suck it because they thought, you know, because he had pulled as the priest, right? I don't know what type of pull he had over these women, but that's neither here nor there. He was getting his rock off. Either way, he got caught and was put the fuck out, right? Celeste is the last one to come into the confessionals, and she's talking to him, yada yada yada, and then he tells her like she tells him like, I want to see you, yada yada. He's like, there's actually like a hole in this confessional box, and she's like, oh, you mean that hole from the last priest? And he's like, yeah. So anyway, she ends up sucking him off in a confessional box, right? She tells him about his mom, or about her mom being in the whatchamacallit, right? Being in the old people home now. She didn't feel right putting her mother in the old people home because her mother lived her whole life working for a racist boss so that her kids could be taken care of, right? And she felt like it wouldn't be fair. She put her mama in the nursing home, right? And he was like, you know, that's not something that you should feel bad for. Like, it's time for you to take care of yourself. You took care of your mama as best you could, and now you have other people trying to help you. It's time for yourself, right? She starts crying. They get out of the confessional, and he hugs her, and he starts praying over her, right? And then all the other nuns at first was like, what the fuck is going on over there? And then they came over, and they also prayed on her, laid their hands on her, and it was a cute community situation after she didn't suck the soul out that man, but that's neither here nor there, right? Boom. The nun that don't like her was standing over to the side like, I don't like this bitch, right? And she stared the nun right in the face like, say something, hoe. Say it. Period. Right? Boom. So then, I guess some time goes by, or it's the next day, whatever the fuck, Miss Girl has a dream, right? And it's Jesus, okay? And Jesus basically tells her, listen, I don't want you to think I just fought for your sins. I fought for your pleasure and for love. Like, I fought for that. I didn't just fight for your sins. So there should be no reason why you are trying to stop yourself from pleasure and love. Like, that don't even make any fucking sense. Actually, I fought for every motherfucking thing. You see, I'm living in my body. I'm butt ass naked in front of you, and I ain't even afraid, bitch. You thought I fought just for your sins? No, I fought for everything so y'all could live your life, bitch. Hello. So she was like, so he's like, this is what you need to do. I need you to go over there to Cassian because he's finna do something, hurt himself, and I don't want him to hurt himself anymore. Just remind him that I fought for everything, not just for the sin. Okay? Boom. So she's like, oh shit. She gets up and she calls him, right? And she's like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm doing something, blah blah blah. So she's like, I'm in front of the church. He said, okay, bet. He's like, I'm stay right there, I'm coming, right? So he basically said, he gets in front of the church, they talking, he ain't got no children, right? So they sit in the front pews, they go in the church, they sit in the front. No, they was getting nasty, they was talking a little dirty. So she was like, let's go get in the car. He's like, no, let's go in the church. So they sit in the pews and they start getting dirty. She's like, I don't think we should be doing this in here. He was like, fuck this shit. We gonna fuck right here in the church. And I said, okay, sir, what the fuck, right? So this is after she tells him, Jesus told me that I needed to come to you because because you hurt yourself, right? So she actually ends up seeing the scars from him whipping himself, and she's like, you need to stop doing that. And he was like, oh, because of you, like I was doing it because I was thinking of you. And they said that they loved each other, even though I feel like they don't even know each other, but that's neither here nor motherfucking there. He done puts her up on the damn Bible that they have, that they read for holidays and carrying on. Fucked up on the Bible, come everywhere. The nun that don't like her came out of the door. He actually had a dream about all of this, but that's neither here nor there. The nun that don't like her came out of nowhere. This man continuously came, and then boom, he pulled out of Celeste, and then the nun boop slaps the nurse right in the face. He had already told her before they started whilst they was in the group of things, that he decided he was no longer wanting to be a part of the priesthood. Like, he wanted to leave because he was in love with her. Like, he wanted to be with her, right? So she's like, I don't want you to do that, yada yada yada. And he was like, my journey with God doesn't stop with me leaving the church. It's just a new chapter in the journey with God. Boom. He leaves. They end up together. The mom ends up dying like a couple of months later because Celeste found out that the dementia was further. Oh, I'm lying. Before they even started hunching, before God, Jesus came into a dream with Celeste, and and after the whole confessional situation, the sister came because Celeste's mama doctor told him that the dementia was further along than they thought, and she was going to lose how to talk, how to do basic shit, and then eventually die. So the sister and her kids and her husband was coming to see the mom. It was a whole sad situation, right? And then she had a dream about Cassian. She went to Cassian. They hunching, sacrilegious. You know, some of y'all would feel like this was very sacrilegious, yada yada yada. Well, boom, they at the funeral. Okay, not the funeral. They at the cemetery, right? The mama finna go down in the caskets. Cassian is next to Celeste. He looks over. It's a man and a bunch of other men's, right, in suits, right? Obviously, I'm like, oh, that's one of the mob members from the people, right? So after everybody leaves, he goes up with him like, hey, like, what can I help you with? He's like, I want you to go back. The mob guy was like, the Don said, I want you to go back to the church because the priest that's there now is boring as fuck and I be falling asleep and the confessionals are boring. I loved when you was there. You kept me up. You had me thinking about things that you said, and I ain't have to off people, and the confessionals were very philosophical. So I need you to come the fuck back. And he's like, well, from what I did, and the Don was like, I know what the fuck you did, priest, father. I know what you did, and I don't give a fuck. I don't pay the nuns or the priests or the bishops for nothing. They do what the fuck I tell them to do. So he was like, I'll come back because you want me back. Like, I ain't even, whatever. And that's the end of the book, y'all. Again, some of y'all may think it's very sacrilegious because some of the things was like in the church. Are you okay? But anyways, y'all, it was good as hell. If you have not read it, go ahead and read it and come back and tell me what you think of it. If you have read it, bitch, comment down below, because this was crazy. It was a lot going on. It was just too good. Anyways, please like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, bye.